The last day ticking down. I will spend that day ruling this place, though escaping the island is still my true desire. Heyo, I'm Andy, and this is Stranded, an Animal Crossing challenge where I design an island in 30 real-life days without ever leaving the island. I am King Andy, the self-proclaimed ruler of the island. Now, if I intend to be a true fearless leader, a fair fearless leader, I must reflect on the actions of others and the actions of myself. The beaches, a desolate place where nothing will grow except for the desert. Umbrellas, shoes, socks, the victims of the sea, all wash up on these shores. Sometimes DIYs, and of course, more than ever, the dreaded moth homework. The beaches stirred it all of the sea creatures, all of the debris from all of the places beyond the sea of washed up air, useless things that will not get us off the island. As the leader of the island, King Andy, I declare all the useless things that wash up on our shores will be packaged and sent back to the outsiders, the others that mock us. If they will not bring us comfort, we will send them garbage. No, I still desire to leave this place. My balloon cur needs way more balloons. And as the king of the island, I declare that any balloon comes onto the island must be used to lift the cur. We definitely need way more than 7. Well, as the king of the island, I asserted through every single item that has ever washed up on our shores or came down from a balloon from the outsiders. And I will be diligent. I will continue to sort through anything. If anything could get us off this island, I will make sure that it is utilized to its best abilities. As of right now, I haven't found anything at all except for mannequins and toys, toilets, and ping pong. I should have taken place as the fearless leader of this island long ago, for I was the one who brought sustenance. This pumpkin patch alone has fed every single resident on the island, and it continues to flourish and fill empty bellies. Pumpkins are our main source of food, but I promise, as King Andy, that we will add more vegetables, corn, and tomatoes and other things like potatoes and carrots. And we'll have a variety of different vegetables to go along with the delicious bacon and the brains that come through the campsite portal. Though I admit my mistakes, I had put my faith in other leaders that I thought were fearless, but were not. This pumpkin patch was not intended just for sustenance of the villagers of the islands, the ones who were stranded here, lost in time for eternity. It was intended to be a shrine to Jack the Pumpkin King. A false prophet so easily demised by a hungry penguin. Chadwick, obsessed with candy, found that sugar and taffy run through the veins of the Pumpkin King, and he ate them. I was a fool, but I learned from my lessons not to follow any leader, only follow my art, and my art will guide us, for I fear we are forever lost. Pumpkin King desired me to flourish up the land, to use the land's power and harness it for himself right before he got eaten. But not all wanted to leave this place. Not all wanted to harness the power of flourishing up the land to gain power, but to abuse the campsite portal. Roswell the alien built this radio tower to call his alien species to this island. By flourishing up the land, he had successfully gotten the coordinates of this island out to his alien race, which is not an alien race, but dinosaurs. The portal once existed in this area, and tons of dinosaur ghosts came, but not just any dinosaur ghosts, ancient dinosaur ghosts from a time of war, death, and destruction. A forever war where the teethy dinosaurs will fight each other in endless battle because they cannot die, because they are dino ghosts. When E invited his ancestors to come to the island and take it over using the magical properties of flourishing up the island, he could never have imagined that his mother would show up. At least Roswell, as a mom, my mom, is locked up in the basement. No, I have flourished up the land in many ways. I have made mistakes along the way. I have redistributed toxic floors and toxic mushrooms around the island to bring peace to the flora and fauna of this land. Looking back, it was a mistake. The spurs of these mushrooms continue to plague the lands. They continue to multiply and create a toxic cloud around the island. A mist so thick that sometimes you can't even see through it. I was a fool, thinking that we could live in peace on this island. I have searched far and wide for a solution. Jitters had found that solution. An impossible task of completing all the math homework and gaining the access to the superstar. No one other than Jitters and the frog captain has gained these stars, and I can only assume by the end of the night they will both be gone. Jitters is wise, and he might stay because he has experienced the void, the space between time, the time between space. So I have tried to emulate my favorite champions to get us off the island, but all that did was bring space ducks. These space ducks seem to have absolutely no concern about getting off the island, no concern about the state of this place, their minds slowly slipping away as they party the night away. It must be the space rabies. No, I do admit partying every single day and every single night, avoiding my responsibilities sounds absolutely fantastic. But I am now the king of this island, and I must rule it fairly and continue to try and get everyone off this place. And all the corners on the beach continue to tick down, and I am reminisce about even more mistakes I have made, but mistakes I had made with absolutely no clarity to my mind. The mushrooms, the Isabel, Tom Nook, Suckin' and Man I'd advised were absolutely fine to eat. They, in fact, were not. Kurt Cobain does not seem like he wants to leave the island. He hasn't even looked at any math homework. He's actually done a whole lot of nothing except for fog my mind with the ideas that we could crossbreed mushrooms and toxic floors to create something that would bring us joy and happiness and make this island a perfect paradise. No, in a way, he was right. For what is reality except for what you perceive in your mind? No, the mushrooms have become a serious problem, and they were always a serious problem. And I band together with the groundhogs to create a failsafe. They convinced me that this failsafe would destroy all of the mushrooms, destroy the campsite portal, and bring peace back to the island so it could no longer be abused by the outsiders. Now, apparently, groundhogs actually don't know how to set up explosives or failsafe buttons at all. So here stands a useless button. Did have a trusty servant watching over the campsite so no one would come by, but unfortunately, elephants of this place are carnivores. Timbra, mistaken for a lamb chop. gala mistaken for bacon and breakfast. All have been eaten, and no, the campsite is watched by a carnivorous elephant, which is kind of okay because if anyone tries to come into the campsite, they're probably just gonna get eaten. And as King Andy, I declare that anyone else who comes through that campsite will be devoured by the elephants. No, carnivorous elephants have not been the only threat to the lives of the residents of this island. We have encountered sea monsters. The days when the plane still existed and just needed some repairs. We could not leave this island with a looming sea monster threatening our shores. The molting shells of our children washing up on the beaches. The victims of our hunger. We had a fierce battle, an epic battle. A battle that lasted for hours. The bravery of these warriors will not be forgotten, for the Dodos gave their lives, and the plane that day had been destroyed. As the king of the island, hard decisions will need to be made, and if I ought to make that decision to go to war against the sea monster again, I would do it. It's not going to be easy ruling this island. No cat, the only engineer on the island, was trying her best to build a plane. She was the one who fixed the plane and aided the Dodos in the great war against the sea monster. I declare that any resources to build a new plane will be sent to her engineer, and she will build a plane. Though, as of right now, the outsiders have not sent us anything of use. I, King Andy, refuse to leave anyone out and leave anyone stranded on this desolate place. Unlike Blathers, the gatekeeper for the gated community, he picks and chooses and decides who could live in peace on the island and who is destined to scrounge around just to survive. Now, Blathers is a great scientist, and as king, I will open up his museum and I will have him research all the flora and fauna to reign control over this place and find all its secrets. For as king and fearless leader of this place, it is my duty to know all about the island. Now, when I was a fool and decided to follow Tom Nook as my fearless leader instead of taking the reign for myself, a mistake, yes, but his first order to me was to burn off the beaches, to resist the mind control of the alien. Now, just because he is not an apt fearless leader does not mean that a broken clock can't be right at least twice a day. No, this beach was the first sign of the Sock Man, a leader I had never met, a leader I had complete faith in. Socks have littered these beaches since the beginning, but the time runs out, and I declare as king of the island that no one shall ever wear socks again. A tough decision and an hard decision. Ever-changing weather and weather patterns around the island might be cold and brisk, but it is a risk we're gonna have to take. Also, umbrellas. Lots of umbrellas. I've been washing up on the shore. All different kinds of umbrellas, colors, shapes, and sizes. Maybe the umbrella man is our savior. No. I am the king. I am the ruler of this island. Tom Nook will no longer be able to hide behind his gated community. This gated community meant for celebrities and entourages are plagued with degenerates. The Godfather, the only celebrity that is actually living in this town. Now, why Tom Nook wants to surround himself with celebrities and entourages, I will never know what a crazy man like that wants to do. I will let him dwell on the fact that I am not the fearless leader of this island. And if he wishes to go, I will not stop anyone. I will allow anyone to come and go as they please, except for Timmy and Tommy, the shopkeepers. A quaint little stir, but they have mocked me time and time again ever since I decided not to follow their father as my fearless leader. They have stocked nothing but useless items, things that couldn't decorate anything. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. That brings us to Tom Nook, the one that brought us here, to strand us here forever. He created the portal. He planned the flight. He brought us to this place. But why? Why did he bring us here? Why does he have KK Slider, Leaf, and my mom locked up in the basement? Why did he come here? Wait a minute. Oh, did Tom Nook get here? Wasn't he already here on the island when we arrived? Living in a tent? In the dirt? Was he here the entire time? Has he always been here? How long has he been here before we got here? How long was he here before we arrived? Did he always have a basement? The basement. That's it. The last upgrade. But you can't build a basement after all this is already erected. That's impossible. That's structurally impossible. My house is probably always on a basement, right? There's no way. It's gotta have always been there. Does he not actually have Leaf and my mom stuck in the basement? Is that how he got here in the first place? Is the basement the secret to the island? It must be, right? It has to be. There it is. The basement, the secret of the island, the way off this place. It has to be down here. Andy, are you still playing that game? Yeah. Well, pause it and take a break, honey. But Mom, we're stranded on an island for 30 days and there was monsters and aliens and portals and time travel and everyone is stuck on the island and we're just about to find out what happens. I knew I shouldn't have let you watch Lost. Come on, turn it off. No. Besides, you have to do your
math homework.
Why, hello, Tom Nook.